Okay, so thank you everyone for tuning in to today's MSc Fair session. And here we are. It is the session for the Advancing Experiential Learning for Real World Impact with Master of Science in Business Analytics and Master of Science in Marketing Science program. So in case any of you were actually interested to join the other sessions, you could also scan the QR code below to on the screen to move on to the other sessions, because we are actually running concurrent sessions. So if your interest is in the other programs, the other Master of Science programs, you can also hop on to the sessions respectively. Yeah. Okay. Otherwise, good to see all of you all here today. I think we see a very diverse crowd from based on your names. So if you're not from Singapore, maybe you can just drop us a note on the chat to let us know which country you are from. Oh, hi, Ji Hyun from Korea. And we have Belinda from Indonesia, quite a number from Indonesia. We have some from India, from China. Okay, I'm seeing so many messages coming in. Thank you so much for your enthusiasm. Okay, interesting. Okay, so it's nice to see that you are tuning from different countries, and it's also reflective of our student population in our program, to these two programs as well. Uh, yeah, in fact, for both the business analytics program as well as the marketing science program, we actually have more than 10 different nationalities in our current cohort. Yeah. Okay. So we have, I think most of most of the registrants have already joined us for this session. So once again, welcome everyone to this session. So my name is Gabriella. I'm from the Outreach and Admissions team at Nanyang Business School Graduate Studies, and together with me is Regine. So Regine leads the specialized masters team at the Outreach and Admissions team for MBS Graduate Studies. And then we have our panelists here with us today as well. We have Prof. Ben Choi, who is the Academic Director for the Master of Science in Business Analytics. We have Prof. Zhang Guangjie. He is the Academic Director for Master of Science in Marketing Science. And we also have two of our alumni from these two programs. Ayushi Shroff recently completed her Business Analytics program, and Skylar Ye, who completed the Marketing Science program. So we are very happy to have all of them here today. So before we get things started with the panel discussion, I would like to invite Regine to give us a quick few words of welcome.
Okay, thank you, Gabriella, and thank you everyone for joining us today at the Nanyang Business School MSc Fair. I can see all of you are from really different parts of the world. We have people from Asia, all the way from Africa, and Southeast Asia. Thank you so much for joining us today. So we have an engaging session planned for you. It includes our two academic directors from the Business Analytics as well as our Marketing Science program, and we also have two alumni from the program who will, be here to answer any question that you may have about the program. So do take this opportunity to ask them questions and hear their experiences firsthand. So at Nanyang Business School, our programs are carefully crafted to reflect our core pillars in innovate, lead, and transform. So I'm sure you'll find this session a very engaging and a very fruitful session. And of course, be sure to stay till the end, because that's where we'll be sharing how we will be, share with you the application fee code waiver to help you to kickstart your postgraduate journey here with Nanyang Business School. Okay, enjoy your session.
Okay, thank you very much, Regine. So once again, in case you missed that part, so there's going to be an application fee waiver for attending today's session, but you have to stay till the end. So we will be sharing more details with you at the end. Okay, so moving on, I think I will be just to give a quick introduction about the two programs that we are focusing on today. So the reason why we have chosen the topic Advancing Experiential Learning for Real World Impact is because these two programs, the Business Analytics and Marketing Science program, we focus a lot on experiential learning, and we feel that is the best for our students. Yeah, so I'll just give a quick introduction of each of the programs before we move on to actually start the panel discussion. Okay, so first up is actually the Business Analytics program. So our Business Analytics program is designed to help our students develop very future-focused competencies. So you will be taking modules in machine learning, blockchain, AI, and we have recently implemented electives in different concentrations so that you can apply your business analytics knowledge in the areas of marketing, finance, or technology and operations. And the program is also taught in very high industry relevance, because each of our students will actually go into this data analytics practicum where you're attached to a real world company to actually help them work on a data analytics project. Then during the course of your studies, you will also be making use of real world data for your in-class projects. And the program is also very cross-disciplinary. It's an interdisciplinary program, and it taps on the different strengths of Nanyang Technological University. So actually, it's a collaborative event together with the School of Physical and Mathematical Sciences, as well as the College of Computing and Data Science. Yeah. Then moving on to the marketing science program. Our marketing science program is very comprehensive and holistic in terms of the curriculum. So there will be modules touching on the traditional marketing modules. We will have consumer insights and marketing technology. So similarly, it also taps on the different strengths of NTU. So we also have cutting edge modules that are towards the focusing on the innovation and technology. So we have marketing in the tech era. We have consumer neuroscience and neuromarketing, as well as ethnography in practice. I think we also have one very new module that was recently added to the curriculum is marketing sustainability. Yeah. So, and the program is also very practice oriented. So you can expect a lot of case studies that is in partnership with real world companies. There are company visits as well that you can enjoy if you join us as a student with the marketing science program. Yeah. So with that, I'll move on to introduce our panelists for today. So, okay. First up, we have Professor Ben Choi. He is our academic director for the Master of Science in Business Analytics. And we have Professor Zhang Guangjie, who is the academic director for Marketing Science program. Ayushi Shroff recently completed her master's in business analytics, and Skylar, who completed the marketing science program. So some administrative notes before we kickstart our discussion. So for today's session, we will be touching on the topic advancing experiential learning for real world impact. So throughout the session, if you have any questions, feel free to type them on the chat or the Q&A feature of this Zoom session. So there will be time for the panelists to actually address the questions. So I'll be starting off with some questions to just get things started, to also discuss about the part of how our programs are actually focused on experiential learning and how that brings about impact. Yeah, so feel free to come in with your questions. We really hope that to have your active participation so that this session is engaging and it's also the most beneficial for you all. Okay, so first up, I think I would like to bring out the first question to our two academic directors. So in terms of the curriculum design for the MMS and MSBA, how is real world problems being embedded to the curriculum to help our students really understand what is the most important things in the area of business analytics, as well as the business as well as the area of marketing?
All right, yeah. So okay, okay. So let me take this question first. Hello everyone. I'm Ben Choi. So I'm going to answer these questions from the perspective of the MSBA program. Now, business analytics certainly involve a lot of real-life business-oriented challenges. So, in fact, it is one of the key emphasis when we come up with our curriculums for the MSBA program, in terms of having a very explicit, strong emphasis on applying analytics-related theories to the actual data science practices in the industry. So there are many aspects in which we fulfill this objective. For example, our students get to work directly with companies sometimes when we get into a collaboration with companies in terms of solving business challenges using some actual data provided by our business partners. And this involves various kinds of business challenges. For example, it could be a logistic company in which is about optimizing supply chain operations. It could be about e-commerce, for example, that will be developing predictive customer models, as well as sometimes we also work with oil and gas data set, for example, about improving sustainability, basically. Sometimes at the beginning, especially, we try to come up with smaller data set to help our students to learn, but oftentimes these are not necessarily toy-like problems. They closely mimic actual issues, if not it's the live data. So by focusing from the data's perspective on real life business challenges, we try to ensure our students basically grapple with the actual complexity, whereby when you become a professional, you will face in the actual workplace. Thank you.
Thank you, Ben. So I can talk about the MMS program. So I think, one very unique aspect of our program is that, we have a relatively smaller class, and for each of the class, we will have a so-called, group project. And typically those group projects are actually in collaboration with companies. So we've actually been, letting our students work on a lot of company projects that are derived from real business problems, and the students will get to work on the project and think about what they can do for the company, and they even have opportunities to present in front of the company executives. So far, we've had companies in different industries. Like last year we have Tiger Beer, Unilever. This year we have brands like Breitling, like DBS Bank. So different brands across different industries, and our students actually get exposed to how different industry might be different, and also how to actually work together as a team to solve real business problems.
Thank you so much, Prof. Ben and Prof. Zhang. So now that we've heard the perspective of from the curriculum design end, maybe we can also redirect our focus to our alumni who have been through the program. How did you experience that part about real world problem during your time in the program itself? Can we have maybe Ayushi to share first for MSBA?
Yeah, absolutely. Hi, everyone. I'm Ayushi, as Gabrielle and Jean introduced. So I just graduated from the MSBA program, and I would say definitely the entire program is very heavily focused on real world experience, because every single project that we did was rooted in a real business problem, either with kind of the data set that we might have used might be fabricated or might be real also sometimes. But I think everything was focused on a real business problem. And I got to work across many different industries, even with projects that were assigned by the professors, or if it was a group project where we got to choose the topic. Your classmates are going to be people from very different industries, even with their education background or with their work background. So overall, there's so much real world experience that you get to learn and apply all the business analytics class knowledge to.
Very interesting. How about Skylar?
Hello everyone, this is Skylar from Masters of Marketing Science program, and I believe Professor John has already shared about like we have a very unique curriculum with not only the fundamental marketing management courses, we also have some cutting edge modules like marketing sustainability, ethnography, as well as like marketing analytics. Which I believe those from those modules I learned like most of the essential skills uh, for the I am well equipped with the skills that needed for today's workplace. So I would say like from most of our modules we have this type of like group projects. Anyway, like as mentioned by Yushi as well, it was not like fabricated project. We were actually doing something for the company from different industries, such as in my strategic marketing module, we did this like a strategic branding project for Tiger Beer. We even got a chance to visit their factory in Singapore as well. It was a really unique experience to get to know about the marketing team in the company and get to talk with them. Also, will make you learn more about the real world marketing scenario as well.
It's very interesting to hear that there's actually the programs are very project heavy, and they are always in collaboration with a real world company, so you get to work on real cases, not just fabricated cases. So maybe a follow-up question: do you feel that the teaching and learning at MBS really prepared you to meet industry and even societal needs?
I think
Um,
from my own experience, I would say like it was as I mentioned, the curriculum was really well designed to fit the need of today's like the job in especially in the marketing field, especially from like marketing analytics and also like ethnography. We have learned like essential qualitative and quantitative research skill, which believe were quite essential for no matter like if you're going to further pursue your study or like you're going to work directly after study. Yeah, I think also other like fundamental marketing management courses or like mm, as I said, like from the practical learning, it was really good to have this experience to make you like career ready.
Thank you so much, Skylar. I usually have something to add.
yeah, absolutely. I think completely agree with what Skylar said. In my current role itself, I can already see everything that I learned in the business analytics degree really helped with the real world skills. The technical skills, absolutely, that's definitely something that's needed. But I think something that has really helped me is how to think about a business problem, how to think about solving a business problem, the approach to it, the structure on the critical thinking, problem solving aspects. That has been something that was really embedded through all the classes in the program, even if they were very heavy technical focused or business focused. So I think that has been definitely very applicable to the real world.
Interesting. Like great. It's really great to hear from both the perspective of the curriculum design and as well as the experience from participants themselves, the first-hand experience from the participants who have gone through the program itself. So I think I think we already established the understanding that the programs are very real world related. And then I think something that is that we are also looking for, because after all, this is not just a undergraduate program, it's actually a postgraduate program. So I think in terms of the curriculum, there has to be some aspects of it. They're actually more focused on strategic foresight, that is looking into the future of business rather than the current. So how has this been also considered from the curriculum design point of view?
Okay, so I can start first. So I think for the MMS program, as mentioned earlier, we really try to understand what the future industry requires, the skill set of a successful marketer. So because of that, we actually have incorporated a lot of the essential kind of courses that can help prepare our students to become effective and successful marketers. But in addition to that, we also incorporate a lot of courses that are we hope that we prepare our students better for the future. For example, we have introduced this course on marketing in the tech era. We have courses related to consumer neuroscience, and recently we have also introduced course related to marketing sustainability, because we believe that sustainability is a very, very important topic for the business in the future or in the next 5 to 10 years. And we're also constantly kind of look into our curriculum and see how we can better improve or even adapt our curriculum design to better cater to what the future industry actually requires from our students. So in fact, in addition to the curriculum, we also design different activities. We invite guest speakers to come in to talk about what are the recent trends in the industry. So I think by a combination of introducing up-to-date courses with bringing the guest lectures, guest speakers from industry who are actually doing really future-oriented business. We hope we can actually better prepare our students for for their jobs, and hopefully they will become successful in the business whenever they get to the job.
All right, so thank you. Okay, so I will elaborate more from the perspective of the MSBA program. As you may know, the business analytics area is very tech focused, very tech heavy. So the life cycle basically in tech is very short. Things changes very rapidly. Having said that, this is indeed a good challenge I consider for me to balance the rigor as well as the relevance of the program. Our alumni, Ayushi has already mentioned, in terms of rigor, in fact, throughout our courses, we try our very best to basically train you folks in terms of the fundamental core soft skills. Like critical thinking, problem solving, and all those. So those are generic, in fact, regardless of the changes in the technology area. On top of that, of course, we need to make sure relevance to the rapidly changing business analytics area, whereby we always try to adopt this half a step ahead approach, whereby we will ensure the programming languages, basically, or the tech courses that we are facilitating are fully in line with the current demand in terms of the job descriptions and positions in the market. And on top of that, we try to basically teach the next big things, for example. So half a step ahead of the industry, essentially. Uh, every now and then, we also have to update our curriculum. And in fact, only starting this year, we start to have our concentration because we realize that analytics is a very generic skills, and increasingly the industry start to value some more focused kind of analytical skills. So we start to have our 3 concentrations, whereby students get to have a more focused training to those skill sets that are most relevant to a certain industrial or domain pillar. Yeah, so that's how we basically respond to those kind of challenges.
Thank you, Prof. Ben, and thank you, Prof. Chang. So, from the students, the participants' point of view, like, can Ayushi and Skylar each share one future skill that you gained from the program, and why, what, and how do you feel that it's really important in the industry that you are in?
Yeah.
So,
I can start. So I think picking one skill is definitely difficult. But if I was gonna say, like I said it before, so I'll repeat it again. I think critical thinking about problem solving. I think that was a skill that was really taught to us across all of the classes that we did with every single project. And it applies even to technical knowledge, because if you're coding and you're stuck on a bug, you have to problem solve it versus just kind of hoping it works. So I think that is definitely a skill that was a common theme across all the classes, and definitely something that I'm using in my work right now.
okay.
I think speaking for marketing science program, apart from the solid skills that I mentioned before that I learned from all those modules, I think especially if you want to work in the marketing field, it's really important to learn how to deal with different people, especially from different background. So I think one of the most important skill I learned from my study was like I got a chance to really get to know about people from different background and really get to work with them on different type of group projects. I think that was the first was I would say it's like the communication skill in the work and also like the cross-cultural collaboration. And apart from this, I think because we having a trimester system, so actually I would say the academic workload was not really small. So maybe like you have to have like 4 or 5 modules per trimester. So it's also very important you allocate your own energy and resources on different team projects, as well as your own job hunting or like internship outside of campus. So I think like from the past 1 year, I was like really personally like develop with these 2 skills, which I think that was quite important. One is like the cross-cultural communication, another one is like your own time management.
Yeah, Ishi and Skylar. So I think right now I think we have gone through quite a bit about the program, like how it embeds like real world problems, real world issues, and then brings in strategic foresight into the curriculum, helps our students build future skills. That sounds like really a lot of things. So maybe our prospective students may be keen to understand how does the program balances academic rigor versus hands-on and experiential learning. It definitely sounds like a lot. So I think maybe some of them might be wondering if they may be able to cope. So maybe we can get our panelists to address this part. Starting with Prof. Ben.
Sure. Well, that is closely related where I have left off, which is balancing academic vigor with relevance. The workload or the intensity of the MSBA program is high. And it is basically expected because the business analytics role requires you to have a lot of skill set in your pocket, basically considering what the industry is requiring or expecting from our students. So the strategy that we try to help our students to ease into this expectation is basically follow the three-term arrangement. In the first term, we are mainly focusing on training our student up in terms of the fundamental skills. Maybe some of them are not very familiar with programming, so that's where they start to pick up the programming methodology, the programming language, start to develop their sensing in terms of data, start to learn and expose systematically with regards to fundamental, essential machine learning and some AI skills, basically. So after term one, whereby our students will be trained and equipped with the essential skill set, from term two and term three onwards, they will start to have practicums, which is sort of like they are working in companies, basically. So that's where the main bulk, I consider, the relevance and the actual industry training they will get to receive when they get to work on their job. At the same time, that is the time whereby they will also be coming back 2 or 3 days a week after work to attend additional courses, whereby they will start to develop some kind of concentration. And of course, as I mentioned earlier, throughout the entire program, apart from the conceptual theoretical aspects of our teaching, we always keep an eye in terms of training relevance, which is about the actual skill set that you need immediately, not just for your practicum, which is like your internship, but also when you go for your real career, which is your job interviews, what kind of questions, what kind of skill set that you may require. So we try to incorporate that as well. Yeah, so that is our strategy in terms of handling such kind of challenge.
So for the MMS Marketing Science program, I think we do emphasize a lot on balancing academic rigor with hands-on experiential learning, in the sense that if you look at all our courses, right? So in the courses, the students will actually learn about the academic knowledge, the basic principles, the theories underlying how marketing works, how different principles might actually operate in the in a business context. And then in these courses, the students will work on group projects, class projects, to see how they actually can apply, right, the relevant course principles, the relevant theories, the relevant academic knowledge into the business context, right? So in all the group projects, we try to let the students understand, first of all, how to I guess better understand the different academic knowledge, and then to apply, right, these kind of relevant knowledge to their company projects, the group projects they're actually doing, so that they start to understand how we actually can transfer all the knowledge from the classes to real business problems or real business problem solving. And of course, we will also provide feedback along the process to the students to tell them where they can actually do better, or where are the areas that they can further improve on. So I think all these things are ways that we try to kind of balance this kind of academic rigor with real life experiential learning.
Thank you, Prof. Ben and Prof. Zhang. How about from the participant point of view, Ayushi and Skylar? Do you feel that how do you feel that the program has balanced the two areas of academic rigor versus experiential learning?
Yeah. So I think for the academic, like, it's definitely you're learning a lot. It's a short program, and there's a lot of skills that you're learning. There's a lot of experiences that you're looking to have. So I wouldn't say it's cakewalk. It's definitely busy, but I think a lot of the academic rigor part is really built in the first trimester. So for those who don't know, it's a trimester system. You'll have three different sections of the program. So I think a lot of the academic rigor, the real heavy learning part is built in the first and second trimester that really prepares you for the third trimester, which is where you have your data analytics practicum and you have your work experience. I know a lot of students and a lot of peers, and me myself actually, even in the second trimester, I was already doing an internship, part-time internship alongside my classes. So it really, I think, as much as you can front load the learning part and really heavy learning part in the first trimester, it's definitely manageable. The project work really prepares you for the real life experiences. And then also your peers and your professors are all really, really supportive. So you never have to feel like you're doing the learning part all by yourself, because even if you're struggling, there's definitely a lot of people out there to help you with that as well as the career side of it. So I think what really helped me is all the kind of completely supported. It kind of felt like being bubble wrapped in like a lot of support from in the different areas. So that really helps.
Wow, that sounds like a really heartwarming experience. Okay, how about Skylar?
Yeah, speaking from MMS program, I believe like Professor Zhang has already mentioned like as the program itself like academically of course it's very rigorous because we have different like assessment components no matter from the quiz final exam and for almost like each of the modules we will have this type of like industrial project which feature like you need to get to work with a group of people. It might be randomly assigned as well to help a company to solve a real world business problem. And then I would say like the from these type of like practical projects, I also learn a lot because every time like after the project itself, I believe most of the professors will give you very comprehensive feedback, and the feedback does not only contains like from a academic perspective whether you apply those knowledge well, but and most of the times I believe those industrial partners like those real marketing people in the field, they might provide you some feedbacks about like how you can further develop your skills in delivering a pitch like in the workplace, or like how to elevate your presentation skills, how to make your slides look more structured or something. I believe those are the things that is very unique that we can learn from this program as well. And as mentioned by Ayushi, like most of the candidates are very like supportive. We're very supportive to each other, especially those who already have the industrial background. They're really willing to share about their previous work experience. I believe it's also a really good networking opportunity to get to know these people from my program as well.
Wow, wow, that's very interesting to hear that the network is also something that forms part of the program experience that makes the program experience much better, and the kind of learning environment that you are in it matters as well. It's not just about the curriculum, what you are learning from the classes, but the people that you are meeting and the support system that you are building up because I think later on you will be supportive throughout your career, because I think most likely y'all will be going into the similar industries, and you can continue to support each other. Yeah, okay. I think moving on to the next question I have, which is what are some of the considerations to better equip our students to translate academic knowledge to into real world impact post graduation? Because I think we are because we are a postgraduate program, so we are not looking just to impart skills to our graduates, but we are looking to actually cultivate the future leaders. So, how does the academic directors think about this topic?
Okay,
Prof. Jia?
I can start. So I think for the MMS program, I think there are two I think important considerations that we take in terms of answering your question. I think the first consideration is that I think there a lot of the skills that the students need to develop along this process, right? So I think, in the program, we really try to improve our students on various skill sets like, critical thinking, communication skills, and presentation skills. Because we understand that, sometimes even if you have a good idea, if you can't really communicate your ideas very clearly, to other people or to the company, it might not necessarily work out very successfully, right? So because of that, we actually give our students a lot of opportunities to practice their communication skills, practice their group work skills, the ability to work with people coming from different cultural backgrounds, from different academic backgrounds, allowing them to critically analyzing how this kind of academic knowledge could be applied to the specific situation or not. Right? So I think by giving the students a lot of practices, a lot of opportunities to actually practice their skills, we hope that that will actually help our students. And the second consideration is that we also believe that along this kind of practice, we also want to create this kind of environment that the students feel safe to actually practice about these different skills, right? So every time when the students present their projects, we will try to give feedback to the students. We will also invite the company executives to actually provide feedback, as Skylar just mentioned, to our students, right? So I think these kind of opportunities or these kind of experiences actually provide a more kind of friendly environment in the sense that you're not in the company yet. You're still in the classroom, but we're actually giving you those kind of real world exposure as you are studying. And we hope that, by creating those kind of friendly, constructive feedback to our students, we will also help our students grow these relevant skills that would be helpful for their career success.
All right. So, okay. Well, business analytics is not a uh, industry or a domain with very long history. So as a result, if you shall graduate from our master program in business analytics, basically you will be ready to fill a vacuum in terms of the talent in the global scale. There are increasingly a lot of undergraduate trainings for analytics. So basically, they will be at the entry level. Our master candidates, essentially, they will be better equipped and better positioned in more leadership roles subsequently. And importantly, we must also recognize that it is a very young field and changing very rapidly. There's a lot of uncertainty debate in terms of what is right and what is wrong, or what are the boundaries, in fact. So to tackle these challenges, basically we focus on three things. Developing leadership, which is very similar across all our master programs, ensuring real world impact, which is once again very consistent. And finally, because of the nature of this space, we emphasize on future focused mindset. So in terms of leadership development, basically it is a soft skill training on top of uh, learning the technical skill set because we want our graduates to become executives eventually to take ownership of complex data problems. And these complex data problems can have a societal impact, in fact, because it's individual data, right? And that actually translates very logically to real-world impact, whereby through our projects, through practicum, we are trying to prepare our students to understand the tangible results of their analytics work. Basically, when they are involved in companies, their work will have an impact in terms of efficiency, effectiveness, profitability, improving actual customers' experiences, and to some extent, it may also involve sustainability initiatives now. So these are very real life challenges whereby our students will get to gain a deeper appreciation on how all these analytics can help to drive actual business value and societal well-being. Finally, it's about future focused mindset, basically. We emphasize a lot in terms of responsible leadership. As I've mentioned, analytics involving all this tech stuff are always evolving, and sometimes it could be a little bit confrontational. So we want to ensure that our students are equipped with the right value, for example, ethics, governance, so that they are prepared to make decisions for the long term in mind. So overall, our graduates not only will be trained with very strong technical expertise, but we also hope and try our best to equip them with the long-term vision and a sense of responsibility in this fairly complicated data-driven world. Yeah, so that's my response to that.
Really, really good to know that our programs are very future focused and really we are trying to shape the future leaders. So if that's your goal for coming to a postgraduate program, be sure to sign up, apply early to the two programs. I think before we conclude the panel discussion and move on to the Q&A, maybe I'll get the two participants, Ayushi and Skylar, to maybe share an interesting anecdote from your experience studying in the program, and also if there's any interesting anecdotes from the time of your internship or your current full-time position. Can you just share something that the impact that is most important to you from coming through this program? Ayushi?
I mean, so I have a funny anecdote, I think more on the MSBA experience. I think something that my peers and I really bonded over was when you come to NTU, or when you move to Singapore, you'll know that there's this platform called Telegram. Some of you might know, some of you might not. And there's a lot of different student channels on Telegram. And one of the things that we always kept our eye on was this channel called NTU Free Food. And that was something we went to. We would plan how early or how late we want to stay after class, after working on our group projects and assignments and everything, based on what the NTU free food was. So I think, and it was sometimes we got some really, really good food also. So that's a funny anecdote for anyone that's planning to come to NTU. So you can look forward to a lot of free food. The MSBA class schedule allows for that, which is great. Helps with the academic rigor part. And then something I would say, like an anecdote wise, I think I really enjoyed working on all the group projects. There are industries that I have no knowledge about. So manufacturing industry, I think that was one project that I worked with. Someone in my group was doing that as his previous job before he started doing the MSBA program. And we created this analytics kind of predictive modeling software or idea to figure out when the machine is going to get spoiled. So maybe basically we created a way that the machine itself would predict that I'm going to go bad, so fix me. And I think that was a very interesting project that I worked on because I had no idea about that industry. So yeah, that I think was one of my most memorable projects. And we had a lot of fun doing it too. So
It's nice to hear. How about Skylar?
I think our biggest takeaway from this program might be like, as I mentioned, we have lots of industrial projects, and then also the prizes for those projects are like really good and rewarding as well. Such as for the our last trimester, we had this module called Marketing in the Tech Era. So we had this collaboration with Singapore Sports Hub. So eventually the final selected two teams, they will be given a pair of concert tickets happening in Singapore. So you can actually pick which one you want to go, no matter like Lady Gaga or Blackpink. So that was a really, yeah, really good prize for us indeed. Yeah, and also like apart from this, I would say like yes, like I made a bunch of friends, no matter from different countries, from my cohort, and also some of them are still staying in Singapore, no matter taking internships or full-time jobs. So it's really good to have this type of like alumni network. Also, like we got lots of chances to like such as organized by the career development offices. They will like have those type of like company talk inside of our campus, as well as like we got the chance to have sessions to network with our alumni as well.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Skylar. So I think from it has been a really insightful session. Like for me, I actually even though I'm in the outreach and admissions team and looking after these two program MSBA and MMS, there's so much that I got to know about the two programs and how it balances academic rigor with experiential hands-on learning. And there's so much you can learn from in-class experiences, and there's also so much you can learn outside of classes as well in terms of the network with your peers, with the networks from the school itself. Like example, Skylar mentioned that because we got to work with Singapore Sports Hub, they actually had the opportunity to get concert tickets. I'm so envious. Yeah, so it's I think the program experience in Nanyang Business School is really unique and very rewarding, I would say. Yeah, so if what you have heard today is something that you're looking for, remember to apply to our programs early because we have practice rolling admissions. Yeah, so we actually have already started. We are really scheduling our applicants for interviews. So if you haven't submitted your applications, then submit them as early as possible. So for now, we'll move on to the Q&A. So I see that there's a good participation. I see a good number of questions on the chat, which I think thank you, Regine, for also helping to address some of these questions. We will try to go through as many questions as we can over here. Yeah. So I think I see a question on business analytics about the final project and capstone project that is mandatory for graduation requirements. So I think for the business analytics, we have the data analytics practicum. So maybe can I get Ayushi to share your experience going through that? Like how has because I think the question was that does NBS have a strong partnership across companies and organizations that allow students to contribute actively? So how was the uh, experience for you? How do you manage to find the company to work for your data analytics practicum?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think there might be like just it's an actual internship process versus like a capstone project, I would say. It's usually majority of the students do end up doing an internship. I did my internship at a French utility company called NG, and that internship opportunity I did find by myself. But I think there's a lot of GSCDO support. GSCDO is the NTU Career Office, and they will be really helpful. There will be so many events that you will be encouraged to go to. You'll meet with representatives from various different industries, various different companies, and that is really how they help. And then there's also I think James will continue to be there. So James was the career lead for us, and he was very helpful. He would personally check in on you, how you're doing, how if you have any offers, if you have any questions, and then if you have any questions, you can go to him. You can just WhatsApp him. I think that's how like easy it was. You don't have to like write formal emails. You can just WhatsApp him and get support. So I think overall, there's a lot of support from professors and the career office, and you're also encouraged to look for roles outside, and they are very supportive of that as well. And then there's a lot of jobs actually to answer the main question, which is company sponsorships and partnerships. There are so many jobs that get posted, which James will message you and remind you about that these are the jobs available. You'll get a weekly update that you should apply to these roles. So there's definitely no shortage of opportunities that are shared with you.
Thank you, Ayushi. I hope that answers your question. Next question is from Chai Yen. It's for the MMS program. Apart from the academic aspect of it, what are the other extracurriculum activities or events that will help us grasp the real-world aspects of marketing as a whole? Skylar or Prof. Zhang, do you have anything to answer the question?
Okay, so I can try to answer that question. So basically, as I mentioned earlier, right? So in addition to the courses, we do have, I think, the Career Development Office actually organized a couple of sessions where they invite industry, practitioners to come to share with our students about, their jobs, or even like help the students kind of polish their skills to I guess enable them to be more successful in their future career. So we also have guest speakers coming in to talk about what are the latest trends in the industry, right? So in addition to that, we also have social activities that whether it's it's organized by the program or it's actually organized by the students themselves. We try to connect our students with each other, but also with the practitioners or the marketers who are already working in the industry, right? So for example, we actually have this annual event with the alumni of the marketing science program. So many of them are kind of working in Singapore, and we actually have like a dinner or reception event with all the alumni in Singapore, and that actually allows our students to actually talk to these alumni and understand what they're actually doing, and that potentially creates some kind of opportunities for internships or career connections.
Thank you, Prof. Next question is from Akshat. I'm sorry, I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly. Super exciting to hear about how NBS goes above and beyond to ensure a comprehensive learning experience. Curious to know what are the major roles that students move on to after completion of the degree. So, Prof. Ben, will you be able to share for MSBA some of the major roles that our students move into after completion?
Okay, yeah, so the business analytics training is very generic because it's a generic skill set essentially to solve data-driven problems in businesses or organizations. So we do have a very diversified placement for our student. But probably you will have some estimation in mind as well. Majority of them get placed into tech-related companies. Oftentimes it's their choices such as e-commerce companies, both locally, overseas, for example, mobile app related kind of companies as well, like ride-hailing services like Grab locally, overseas it could be Uber, as well as Didi. To some extent, it also is related to your a bachelor training or any experiences that you have previously. So a good share of our alumni, they have finance, accounting experiences. So we do have quite a few of them actually placed in the Big Four, doing analytics related kind of consultation job scope, basically. And of course, the finance industry as well. So there's more related to financial analytics, basically. And it's not just that. We do have students who have an interest in operation related or operation management, like manufacturing. Basically, that's what I usually just mentioned about the projects, right? So we have students who were from Germany previously, for example. So she actually returned to Europe, and she's now working with Airbus, for example, and various other kinds of manufacturing companies as well. So generally, this is the landscape in terms of the placement.
Thank you. Thank you, Prof. Ben. How about for MMS?
Yeah, so I think similar to the analytics program. So I think there's a variety of industries that our MMS students actually go to after their graduation. I would say majority of them still would play a role of more of like a marketing type of role in the company, right? For example, many of our students go to the FMCG industry, or some of them go to the agencies. But there are also a lot of students who actually get to, go to the banking and finance industry. Some of them become a consultant, after their job. So I think there's a variety of industries that our students get to. But of course, many of them still do a more kind of marketing related kind of job role in their, immediate job after the graduation.
Maybe you're on mute.
Oops, sorry. Thanks, Gigi, for highlighting. Okay. Thank you, Prof. Zhang and Prof. Ben. Next question is from Anvesha. I have a bachelor's degree in environmental science. I aspire to work in environmental data analytics. I was wondering whether projects I take on during the business analytics program will allow me to explore this interest and support me in my career journey. So it's quite specific. So, Prof. Ben.
Yeah, so that is great. In fact, even locally, there's a very high demand for such a domain experience and expertise. Possible projects, which I cannot promise you that these will be the projects, right? But what I have seen so far, it could be projects related to housing policy, basically. In Singapore, there's a lot of basically public housing, right? HDB, and whereby, in fact, HDB employs a lot of analytics to design our new town, not just to how to optimize, the housing occupancy or space utilization, but at the same time to ensuring living quality, as well as, the temperature about global warming to ensure the natural air movement will cool down the town, and pollution as well to try to actually move the major roads away, cutting through the new town, so that you reduce the noise level. Now that is about estate, housing, town development, and basically the data set. A lot of those are even open as well. On top of that, the other will be basically about environmental management. One of the key topic now is about the rising sea level, whereby in Singapore there's a huge projects basically that's going to come up online, whereby essentially we need people who are into this area to use analytics to understand the sea level data on top of basically the land mass and distribution and so on. So there's a lot of opportunities in this area, and I will certainly encourage you to look into our program, and I'm quite sure you will find your area to shine.
Thank you very much, Prof. Ben. Okay, there's a question from Xia Song on the cohort size for the business analytics and the marketing science program. So I think I can answer that. But if there's but maybe the academic directors can add on as to any considerations for the current class size that we have. So for the current intake, we are looking at a cohort of 100 for the marketing science program and 130 for business analytics program. So, Prof. Zhang, would you like to share maybe some of the considerations on the cohort size?
Yeah, so I think, just adding on to Gabby's, response. So basically, the target size for the MMS program is 100 students, right? But for the course teaching, actually, we will not have all the students in one class. So actually, in each class, it's actually only 50 students per class. And the reason why we do that is because we want to make sure that we maintained the interaction between the students and also between the student and the faculty. So if you look at a lot of the competing programs in the region, I think many of the programs are actually much bigger than us. But the reason why we want to maintain a smaller cohort is because we believe that the interaction is very important. And I think one unique aspect of our program is that you get more, I guess, student to professor interaction. There's more interaction among the students. And also, I think, there's a lot of class discussion that will actually happen in the course teaching. So it's not like a kind of a lecture style teaching. Rather, it's more of a seminar form of teaching in the sense that we would actually expect the students to also, interact a lot in the class. And I think, this is also a very effective way to facilitate this notion of experiential learning.
Okay, thank you, Prof. Zhang. How about Prof. Ben? Is there any considerations for the current class size for MSBA?
Yes, so in fact, we are very similar, and I certainly echo the same principle. We are always trying to maintain a small class size. The key reason is that it is indeed not like big lectures that you are looking for. It is seminar style, meaning that our students, in fact, they will be sitting in groups. I always have this joke that it's like kindergarten. They sit in circles, basically. The tables are flexible. You can rearrange your table. In fact, typically they sit in circles. And our teaching basically is in this kind of seminar rooms whereby you have like multiple screens and students will be using their laptop throughout. Our instructors, like when I'm teaching, we will be walking around. Sometimes, and I make it a rule, basically, a principle in my classes is that I will be sitting down with you sometimes, like to listen to your discussions, to participate in your discussions, as well as to listen to the team's presentation. So the level of interactivity, discussions, and collaboration is very high because we try our very best to maintain the optimum size for our classes to ensure such interactivity to take place. Yeah.
Okay, how about maybe we can hear from the participants' point of view? How has that the high interactive within the class size being kept small to allow for more interactions? How has that been beneficial for your program experience?
I think that's been definitely pretty helpful because you really get a chance to meet everyone across different classes, different projects. You do end up getting randomly assigned in group projects. So you do end up meeting everyone and really learning from their experiences. And then also a smaller class size really allows the professor to, even though it's a trimester is very short number of weeks, it gives a chance for the students to get to know the professor and the professor to also get to know the students, which helps in the entire learning experience.
Thank you, Aishi. How about Skylar?
Yeah, I think mentioned by Professor Zhang before, actually like in our each lecture is not only like the teaching by the instructor itself, we also have lots of like Q&A or like group discussion. And also like in our assessment component, actually the in-class participation is also quite a really prominent part. So I believe you have to really like be focused during the class and also actively participate in the discussion. And also for the group assignment, yeah, it was like sometimes it was like the group mates were randomly assigned to you. So actually like you need to get to know about your new team members like style and yeah, it's a really unique experience to get to know with a bunch of new people, especially I believe in the workplace setting. You cannot choose a colleague as well. That's what I was taught by our like program manager. So which I believe was really true. So it was like a rehearsal for your real job place setting. Yeah. So I would say it's a really good and practical learning experience.
Okay, thank you. So I think it's all for the sake of the program experience that our class sizes are small. I think because some of the prospective students are actually wondering like why is our the admission rate so small, because we actually for both programs we each have about 1,000 applications a year, and but the cohort size is only 100 plus. Yeah. So moving on to the next question is by Mahita. What are some key tips you would give to make our application stand out? What does the MSBA program expect from their future students? So this is specific to MSBA. From
All, all right, sure. That is, I mean, that is a good question, and that is a valid question. And this is closely related to our discussions earlier, whereby uh, this space requires you to have all kinds of trades in your pocket. So how do you prepare yourself, I will say, such that you will have the most optimum learning experience in our program? Oftentimes, I very concretely recommend our applicants during interviews, for example, to in fact spend some time to prepare yourself on the tech part if you are not familiar with it, which is going to help you by miles. So, what exactly are those? Now, in the BA space, generally, there are three key skills that you must be very good at. And I call that the bread and butter, essentially. You need that to survive. So, what are those? Basically, it's programming, specifically Python and data, SQL, structured query language, and finally, for analysis, right? It's just the R language. So, these are the three languages. If it is very unfamiliar to you, it's okay. Online, openly, publicly, there's a lot of content and training materials available. Now, of course, we don't expect you to be experts by just self preparation, but you must ensure that you are at least familiar with the basic and you are helping yourself, basically. Because as I've mentioned before, the training will be fairly intensive because we must ensure that your skill set have reached a certain expectations for companies after the very first term. Okay, so the training is intensive. So in order for you to yield the best benefit out of the first term for your fundamental skill through the systematic training, you need to get prepared. Okay, so this is the three key things that we are always looking for in applications. Not just that we are selective, but we are trying to ensure that you can learn well and learn best.
Thank you for very, very specific tips. I hope you've taken some notes. Okay, next question from Kimberly. Do you have an estimate on yearly cost for textbooks or in-class materials for MMS? I don't think we have additional cost for textbooks and in-class materials. Those should be covered by your tuition fee. So you can find the tuition fee figures in our program website. Yeah, okay. I think we have one question that is specific for MMS. It's from Wintako Koshi. Could you share how the MSc Marketing Science program has evolved over time? I would be interested to learn about the history of these changes and the background driving them. Prof. Chang, could you answer that?
Oh, okay. So, yeah, so I think, very good question. And in fact, I think the MMS Marketing Science program has actually been running for 5 to 6 years now. And actually, it started, I guess, before our program, there was a kind of a part-time program, which is called MCI, which is Master of, Consumer Insights, which is target more at I guess, the marketing managers who are already having a lot of experience. And it was a part-time program. So 5 to 6 years ago, we changed the program to a full-time program. And of course, the target student of our program is now more about, the students who have relatively fewer, years of working experience. And, we are hoping that by providing this kind of training to those kind of students, they will be able to, get to a better position in the marketing industry, right? So, and of course, the other thing is also like, our program is constantly evolving in terms of the curriculum design, right? So I think, at the very beginning of our program, we have already started to consider, the tech aspect, because we understand that, technology is very important, and we're in a Nanyang Technological University. So technology is always a very important part of our program, but we do constantly kind of revise and adapt our curriculum to better reflect, what the industry is actually doing, right? So we try to make sure that our courses, the curriculum is up to date. And so that's why, every year we've been revising some of the content in the different courses. We've been adding, the sustainability related components into the program. So I guess, these are some of the involvements of the MMS Marketing Science program. And as I mentioned earlier, I think, when we have alumni gathering, we actually still invite the old, the old program, which is called the MCI program, the alumni to come back and, connect with our current batch of students, the alumni from the newer MMS program. So that also allows our students to, understand what, these people are doing, and, that creates new connections and, opportunities for jobs.
Thank you very much, Prof. Zhang. So I think I'm mindful of the time, so I think we can take one last question. But before I do that, I think I would like to share this QR code for our participants to connect with us on WeChat and WhatsApp. So, in case you have any further questions, then sorry, give me a moment. Okay. Okay, here you go. So in case you have any questions after today's session, you can join us on these group chats. So the left one is for WhatsApp and the right one is for WeChat. Join us on these chats. Our admissions advisors are all on this chat, so you can post any questions that you have following today's session, and we will be responding to you as soon as we can. Yeah, okay, so let me move on to our final question for the panelists. It's from Godwin. So the question is, how do you integrate the cultural differences of students in learning?
Okay, so I can start first. So I think, it's a great question, and indeed, I think, if you look at our master program, we are actually quite culturally diversified, right? So we actually have students or participants coming from a lot of different countries. And one thing that we always tell our students is that when you come in to our program, you have to be open-minded, right? You need to be open to the possibility of working with people from very different cultural backgrounds, with very different perspectives, and for all our courses or for all the group projects, we try to actually random assign our students to different groups, and a lot of times we actually try to keep a kind of a diversified group so that the students are not just working with students from their own countries, from their own cultural backgrounds. They actually got to interact with people from very different cultural backgrounds, and through those kind of teamwork experiences, the students actually really get to understand different perspectives, and try to work toward the same goal, right? And eventually they will actually make a lot of good friends from different cultures. So I think that's one thing that we try to do. And the other thing is also, I think when we teach classes, when we do class projects, we often let our students talk about how this marketing principle or this kind of concept could actually be manifested by examples in their own countries, in their own cultures, right? So, in the class discussion, we got to learn how, different countries, different culture might actually be very different, or, how the different, examples, the marketing principles could actually be applied to different contexts. And sometimes when the students are presenting on their projects, they might also be able to try to choose a different country, different culture as the target market, and they propose kind of creative solutions to for the company to say, oh, suppose you are a brand from Thailand, right? How do you sell your product in China, in India, in Singapore, for example? So I think these are the things that we try to foster the culture interactions, and also I think improve the culture intelligence of our students. And in fact, this year I think we also have a culture intelligence workshop before the students actually start the courses. So I've heard that there are also a lot of positive feedback about the cultural intelligence workshop because it also kind of prepared training for our students on, how do you interact with people from different cultural backgrounds.
Okay, so my take on that is I think we are very gifted in Singapore because we champion multiculturalism, multi-races, multi-languages, and multi-religions. So in terms of cultural diversity, it is naturally through and through, I must say. Now, of course, we have some explicit considerations in putting together the cohort as well. In fact, that's why we have this program. Yeah, we try to have exposure to diversity of different students, and this is very important to every single one of you. If you shall join our program, because like my colleague has just mentioned, we want to create that environment, that atmosphere, whereby even at the group level, you are getting this exposure with people from various backgrounds. And in fact, I have seen oftentimes some of my Chinese students, for example, they get to interact with students in the region, like from Indonesia, and they're very interested about going Indonesia to look at the volcanoes, for example, and they share a lot of local knowledge through these relationships that we are trying to cultivate through our classroom settings, through various aspects of the program. Now, more formally, of course, we do have that consideration. So, like in my courses that I'm teaching now, it is about data basically. The project is about coffee beans. And in fact, I talk a lot about the regional consumptions, about the coffee beans, coffee industry, beverage, and so on. So, of course, it's not just limited to this particular project. In various other projects, we do have the same consideration as well. The fundamental principle is because data goes beyond, right, all these boundaries essentially. So I will say that it is actually quite easy, specific to the course material itself. More importantly, is your friends around you that we are trying our absolute best to create an environment for you.
Thank you, Prof. Zhang and Prof. Ben. That's I think cultural intelligence is a very interesting topic and very important as well. Maybe we could also hear from our participants' point of view how was their experience in terms of that being mixed together with people from different cultural backgrounds and having to work together in your programs. Skylar, would you like to go first?
Yeah, I think it's definitely beneficial for your own, like no matter personal or career growth. I think as mentioned before, like especially if you're in the workplace in Singapore, there are also lots of people from different region or like having different cultural background as well. So it's very essential. You need to get along with those people and then try to respect and understand each other's perspectives. Mm, yeah, but I think that's one of my, I think it's a really good like practice to put us into this diverse cohort. Yeah, so it really makes your tuition worth as well if you're coming from China. So it's given like our the cohort is not only consists of like single nationality, so it's really diverse. Yeah.
Thank you. Ayushi?
Yeah, I think I would just agree with everything that's been said. Definitely both professionally and personally, like Skylar mentioned, very relevant in the Singapore workplace because it's such a not even just Singapore workplace, just living in Singapore in general. It's such a diverse city, state, country, anyways. So yeah, I think it definitely, and like I mentioned before, it because there's also cultural differences, and because of that there's also so many so many different things that you get to learn that are both like business analytics related you're in your projects, and then just across the world, different holidays, vacations, what type of festivals they celebrate, everything. So I think it's very interesting.
I think there are also activities and events where you celebrate different
Mhm.
festivities, right?
Yeah.
Share some of them, either Skylar or Ayushi, some of them that you've attended.
I think I remember like going to Chinese New Year lunch. And then I know someone in my class, so I celebrate Diwali, which I remember some peers in my class had asked me about, and they were very interested to learn more about it. So I think it was really fun to kind of learn from them and then also share my experiences.
Right, interesting. Okay, so that's some of the activities outside of class that you can look forward to if you are joining us at Nanyang Business School. So with that, we've come to the end of today's session. Thank you once again to our panelists, Prof. Ben, Prof. Zhang, Ayushi, and Skylar for taking your time to be with us this Saturday afternoon. Thank you, Regine, as well for being with us in this session. And to all of you, thank you for your active participation. I hope you have spent the hour and a half has been well spent, and you have got to learn much more about the program, and you are now more ready to apply. And yep. So for the application fee waiver code, we will be sending an email to you within next week. So do look out for your email for the application waiver fee code or waiver application fee waiver code, and there will be some terms and conditions that's listed on the email. So to be sure to read them carefully before you use them and submit your application. All right. So once again, if you have any further questions, do join us on our WhatsApp and WeChat group by scanning the QR code displayed on screen. So we look forward to continuing to connect and engage with you. So thank you very much and have a great weekend ahead.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Have a good one, everyone.